All right, welcome back. It's time to get back to work on making our Wayne Thiebaud inspired cupcakes. Now in this video, I'm going to guide you through making the top part of the cupcake, my favorite part, the frosting. But first, let's take a minute to remember why we are making these cupcakes. It's because we've been studying a famous American artist named Wayne Thiebaud. Now remember, one of the things that you learned about Thiebaud in that other video that you watched was that when he was in high school, he had a summer job once at Disney Studios in the animation department. What a fantastic summer job that would be for someone who would later become a famous artist. Well, I did some research, and I discovered that while he was at Disney Studios that summer, working in the animation department, he did some work on some famous cartoon characters you may have heard of before. He did work during that summer on Goofy and also on Pinocchio and his little cricket friend, Jiminy Cricket. How interesting that a famous artist that you are learning about has had something to do with famous cartoons that you have seen probably at some point in your life. It all comes around. Now, something else that I discovered was this cake that Wayne Thiebaud painted. Now, you remember that he is very famous for painting cakes and desserts and pies, but this cake in particular, I think you can probably figure out why he painted this Mickey Mouse on top of this cake, because working at the Disney Studios was a very important part of his upbringing as an artist. Now, back to work. To make the tops of our cupcakes, the frosting, you are going to need to get out your cupcake cups that you have already cut out and put into this envelope. It's going to be very important that you get these because you want the tops of your cupcakes to fit onto those cups. So we have to use those while we are drawing. You will also need another one of these papers. You used one of these already to make the cups. We're going to use this again to make the tops. And of course, you'll need a pencil and probably an eraser. So take a moment, pause this video, and go get those things. All right, here we go. So I've gotten my new paper and I've gotten my 3 different size cupcake cups. Very first thing I want you to do is, of course, write your name. Then we're going to start with the largest cupcake cup. Now this whole space is going to be filled up with my frosting, but I want to make sure that my frosting actually fits the cup. So I'm going to take just the top of my cup and I'm going to put it into just the bottom of the box, and I'm going to trace just the very top edge, and that means that that is at least how big my frosting needs to be. Now I want you to keep your frosting inside the box, but it needs to be at least as big as the top of the cup, because you would not want to have frosting that look like this. Who wants a cupcake with only half the amount of frosting? Not me. Frosting is my favorite part. So I want to make sure that I have a nice large area of frosting that's going to look appropriate and fit on top of my cup. All right, now to make the frosting, you can have as much creativity here as you want. The only rule is that it needs to stay inside the box. So I'm going to make just a little bit more frosting on the edges. That way it will look like it's hanging off a little bit. Yummy. And I'm going to make some nice big layers. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a curve here. I'm going to add another layer. Oh, delicious. And another layer. Perfect. Now, later we're going to make some cherries for the top. So I leave just a little bit of space up there to put a nice juicy cherry on the top of my cupcake. Next, same thing, middle-sized cup. Place the top of it just inside the box. Trace the top edge. I like to give mine a little bit hanging over, and then my layers. Your cupcakes do not have to look alike. You might have a couple layers on one, you might have 3 layers on another, but I do want you to fill the box almost all the way up to the top. Nice big layers of frosting. It's your dream cupcake. Here's my last one. Nice big layers. I like to give mine 3 layers just because I love that frosting, in case you hadn't caught on to that yet. And there I have my 3 tops for my cupcakes. You may stop this video, show me this picture so I can check off on my list, and then we'll see you in the next video.